We get this question a lot in our agency about what are the different types of surety bonds. Well, there's four general types of surety bonds, not counting bail bonds and those kind of things. One is a license and permit bond. So let's say you're a professional, let's say an accountant. When you get your accounting license, the licensing authority in your state that issues that requires you get a surety bond to make sure that if you do anything wrong or harm the consumers, there's a bond that will help make that right. Contractor bonds. Those are for performing on a certain type of project. And it doesn't have to be a building contractor. It could be any kind of performance. If you're a company that manufactures something or has a contract or has some type of deal you're going into that the other side really wants to make sure you're going to perform properly, a contractor type bond would be good. For example, if you are bidding on a project to build a bridge and the person or company that's hiring you to build the bridge wants to make sure that if they award you that contract, that you're going to follow through. And if you don't, if you build half the bridge and then walk away and they're stuck, they have a bond that will help ease their financial losses. And that can be the same thing for any kind of manufacturing or any kind of contract. Maybe you're contracting for some professional services that you're going to do a consulting project. You can get a contractor bond to make sure you follow through on that. What about court bonds? Those a lot of times have to do with securing a judgment. If you are a defendant in a case and you are sued and you lose your lawsuit, and let's say your lawsuit was for $500,000 and you lose, and the judge says you lose, you owe that person $500,000, but you want to appeal. You say, I don't think this case went right. I'm going to appeal this verdict. Your video will be back in 8 seconds. In the meantime, remember, you have access to live one-on-one consultation, undivided attention of a licensed certified expert in this subject and many others. We want to listen to your story. We want to hear your questions and give you expert advisement of your options. We want to tell you what we know about your situation and what options you have. Now back to your video. Well, you can appeal it, but the court might require you to post a bond because you're not going to pay that money right away. You want to make sure that, or they want to make sure that somebody's going to be there to pay it, and that's what the bond will be for. And then there's fidelity bonds. Those are more like security that you're not going to steal or embezzle money, or that your employees are bonded against doing something wrong, or if your client gives you money to put into an account like an attorney into a trust account, that those are bonded. That's another type of bond. One thing they'll have in common is they are protecting a third party from something you could do wrong. And that bond helps you guarantee to your clients that you're good for it. Not so much good for the money, but good for what your promises are. And you want to make sure you understand what happens if the bond pays out, because you have a liability there. It doesn't just like it's free money. It's not like an insurance policy that just pays out and you're off the hook. You have obligations. The bonding company is going to make sure that you are good for it. They're going to make sure you have the experience and the knowledge and you're honest and you don't have a lot of criminal records that are of the type that show that you have failed in these endeavors before. The bond cost is pretty small compared to the dollar amount. So if you're securing a bond for whatever dollar amount, it could cost between 1% and 3% depending on the type of bond. For example, a bond for $100,000 might cost a couple thousand. 1 or 2%, sometimes 3%, depending upon the nature of the bond. You can get a quote real fast from our website, probonds.com, probonds.com, and you can get quotes for almost every type of bond right off the website. Use bonds as a way to guarantee for your customers, but also sometimes it's required, and it's a good way to make sure that you can bid on high quality contracts or permits. Thank you for watching. Remember, you can access live one-on-one personal consultations with a licensed private investigator, a licensed commercial insurance broker, licensed certified real estate title examiner, also a certified civil court mediator. So if you have a need to talk to an expert in any of these fields, or even a licensed building general contractor, you can click the link below, actualhuman.com, and arrange a live one-on-one undivided attention with a licensed expert where you can ask any questions, get information about your situation, and we'd be glad to help.